Yes.
In the book, it says, written by itself, magically,
I like that.
magically, that there were external forces influencing MACC in the investigation of Najib. Can you elaborate on that?
You see, the thing is, MACC again is a civil service body. They work very hard. They work very hard to root out corruption. But a body is only as good as whoever leads that body. That body, whatever direction they receive, who they receive that direction from, that's how the body moves. And so the question that I have is, who was in charge at the material time of these bodies when these incidents happen? That's the question that I have. The issue that I have is when reports that MACC came up with and submitted, what happened to these reports? Why were these reports not referred to? Why were these reports buried? And only years later do we find out, actually there is a report. And even today, no one's willing to come out and confirm that these reports were there. We know the reports were there. We know that this is actually, these things actually happen, but no one wants to come out and confirm the validity of these reports. Why? Because then, the moment they do that, then we realize that, actually, there was some other game afoot. The game was not necessarily to try an individual based on just pure evidence. The game afoot was also to bury evidence that might necessarily be of benefit to the individual, so that to present an image of complete and utter guilt, when the reality is that the judgment has to be based on probability of guilt, right? On the probability of how guilty this person is, rather than anything else, which is the situation that we face. Which is the situation. So the issue with Dato Sri Najib is very simple in my view. Allow the evidence, allow the admission of all of this evidence, and make a decision. Right? Don't say, we can't admit this, we can't admit that. For all these reasons, just admit it. I respect the judgment of the courts. I respect the judgment of the federal court. All of these I respect. But nonetheless, I'm saying justice must not only be done, but must also be seen to be done. And in this instance, justice was not seen to be done. If you want the details, read my book. It's all in there. I list them point by point.
Yes, you do.
And I must admit, or not even admit, I must say very clearly, I am not here to defend Dato Sri Najib. It's not my job. I'm not being paid to defend Dato Sri Najib. But what I'm telling you is from what I have seen and from my working relationship with the man. Do I believe that he is guilty of all of these things? No, I don't believe that he's guilty of these things. But I believe...
All of these things? Or
I mean, all these criminal offenses that he's being charged with. I don't think he's guilty of these criminal offenses. But what I think he is guilty of is listening to advisors around him who are on the payroll of certain individuals, right? And taking actions based on this advice and being a gentleman about all of these things. Yes, he is guilty of that. He's guilty of being a patsy. Yes.
a patsy? Come on.
I would use the word, yes.
Okay.